So it is a hard job for them because no mother, I don't care, I can't speak for cases like of abuse and stuff because that's a whole other monster, when children are being physically or other ways abused. But for me, I was using drugs. That is enough of a reason for the state to come and take your child. And they will. And all it takes is someone calling them. Because the reason for that is, and you don't even have to have drugs in your home, but the fact that you're inebriated and unable to have good judgment. So doing heroin or being high on heroin or just even being maintained by feeling normal, I had to do heroin to feel normal, but then driving with my son in my car, dealing drugs or buying drugs, or all of those are risky, scary behaviors that put your child at risk. So they were able to get, a call from someone concerned saying, these parents are doing drugs and they have this little boy in their home. So then the CPS came. Now, if I hadn't broke down right then and there with CPS, they wouldn't have been able to take him right away because they still would have had to have some pretty good evidence, of the drug use. And, that was just one of those God moments where I was able to feel what was needing to be done. And that happens a lot. I think you'll find with people who are in addiction as they get to a point where they know they need help and they will break down eventually. So CPS, they're kind of like the front line. They go investigate and they go dig and they go look and they, they're the ones on the very front line of things. And then, so after we got with them, we went to the DCFS building in Provo and talked to a caseworker. They do so many just meetings talking with you, and they analyze your mental health. They go over your history over and over and over again, all the way back to childhood. And they want to know who you are and what's the problem, where does the problem lie, and what can we do to help you with it. And so that's when they were able to, all the treatment centers I could have gone to, they thought that I went to North Promise, which is a woman treatment center. And by analyzing me and my issues and my past, they were able to say they could best help you. And then just lots of support. The DCFS only sucks if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, they're the greatest ally. They are just there to support. So they would even give me, I didn't have a car, and they would give me bus tokens, bus passes. They always wanted to make sure I had food and a place to live. They assigned someone to be there to support me through court dates. And then we do family team meetings monthly. And, I was blessed to have family that could take my son in and take care of him for the 9 months that they did. Some people don't have that, and their children do go into foster care. But I don't really believe it's as scary as, it can't be worse than being in the types of environments that a drug-addicted parent can put them in. Even though it's scary for the child because it's not their normal. Just like I was talking about with the chaos. The child lives in chaos and all of a sudden they're in peace, and it's hard for them. The greatest challenge that DCFS has is the reunification, the successful reunification of a mother and child. It is so hard because, sometimes, like I almost got to a point, I wasn't sober long, and I was struggling with all of these responsibilities, I was sleeping on a friend's couch. I didn't have a car. I didn't have money. I didn't have, you know, I was going to the food bank to get food, and I had to be at court this week, or this day this week. I had to be at treatment every single morning at this time. And then I had a parenting class I had to get to all the way over there. And there was just a lot to do. And it was so overwhelming to my newly sober mind that I even started to question, can I be a mom? Is this even something I can do? Because I don't feel like I'm capable of it. And I had seriously questioned if I should even get my son back. And I had a caseworker who had just seen this so many times, and she's like, you can do this. You can do this. You just have to get past this part. Just do it and then make up your mind later. And I'm so glad I stuck with it, because they really do. I just said, but I'm so overwhelmed. And she, well, what can we do to help you? You know, what is it that we can do to make this work for you? So that's really what they do. You know, there's lots of big, bad, scary stories about them, but I think they're pretty great. Yeah. It's a big process. It's a long process, but they're always pretty determined. What they're looking for to give your child back is a stable home environment, that you have the ability to get them where they need to go, and that you have them enrolled in school, you have good food in your pantry. They go and look in your house, and they open all the drawers, and they check everything and make sure it's child locked, and just all the things that a responsible parent should do. And then they do a trial placement, and if it works, they just let you keep them. I was terrified of them for a long time, but so terrified that I cooked up this huge elaborate scheme to get them out of my life, when they were first coming around. But I'm glad they stayed around. I still keep in contact with my support team from that time. So.